Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our xCite presenter today.
Michael McGrath from Signorama Footscray to present to us on Sign Sell.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for
Michael McGrath.
So normally I'll do a speech and I'll do it in the PowerPoint. It's a bit hard here to do a PowerPoint. So what I've got is I've got a deck of some of the stuff we do. And I'm going to pass some around. I know it's a bit of a distraction when we're talking, but I think it's with signage, it's really hard to visualise what we're talking about. And the best thing with signage with all of our clients is actually just show them what we do. And so today I'm going to pass a few of these around and we'll have a bit of chat about the sign. So it's going to be more informal than what I normally do. So first of all, who are we? So Signorama Footscray Melbourne CBD. It's a Signorama is a company based, a franchise based out of the US. It's been in Australia to 100 stores nationally. We work as a network. So even if you happen to have stores in New Zealand, I've actually done work with Maybe Central New Zealand having stores in New Zealand. We also use our network to national rollouts and branding. One of the most important things for brands is their colours. It's extremely important. You don't want to have two stores in two different neighbourhoods with two different greens, which often happens. So generally what happens is that we can provide an end-to-end signage solution for people. So they can come to us and say, right, we've got 10 stores around the country. Can you make sure all the graphics look the same? Can you coordinate get the whole project installed on time, on budget, and coordinate the whole thing? All I'm going to do is say, hey, here's the job, I need this rebranded, and we'll take care of everything. So in-house we have 2 graphic designers who do all our design work for you as well. And we have 95% of what we make is made in-house. So we have a whole array of machinery. So we have a machine that prints all of these, we have a machine that cuts all of these. No one actually touches the color and pick the panel up and move from one machine to the other. So a lot of what we do is all automated now, and that's taken us over the last 7 years to build that up. What it means in the end is that even when I have staff sick, I can still get stuff out on time and keep it away. We're not relying on staff to be there to run everything, because pretty much most people run multinational and keep things running out. And of course the quality is really important in what we do. So that's sort of what we do for a lot of companies in generally speaking. And why the sign sell, and that's the main we'll talk to them today, is that, I'll make an example. I'm down to Rurry, it's a lady who ran a childcare centre. And she's been for 15 years, it's all word of mouth. She has got kids queuing up at the door wanting to come in. But at the moment, all knows is a start. So she never worried about the signs until someone comes with a job interview, saw them get out of the car, jump back in the car and take off. Eventually, I got 2 days later, she had and said, "What was the problem?" I don't think it's the type of place I want to work in. She never even walked in there. It's a lovely family business, but even I found when I was trying to find a place, it looks like a dump. Let's be frank. So she's gone to all this signage on. Why? Because the signage is going to help her recruit the right staff. And most people put signage up to try and improve their sales. To try and let people know who they are to gain more sales. Just the signs is going to help her recruit better staff, which is going to help the business keep growing. The signs is not always just about selling. On the other side of it, when you've got the dust, so you've got the dust from time to time. When you walk in the main street of Dalesford, there's all these lovely glitzy signs. You're from Melbourne, you don't know where the best coffee is. Right, they can Google it, there's plenty of reviews on there and everyone has different tastes. But you don't know. Most people walk up the main street and look at a shop from the outside, how attractive it is. And they base that on which shop they go in for a meal or a coffee, or which shop they stop and look at their menu before then going in. So before you decide which shop to look at their menu, you look at the shop and make decisions. Is that the sort of business I want to go into? Now there's a little shop around the corner with second-hand chairs. Looks like a dump. It makes the best soup in Dallas. No one knows about it. No one goes in there. I'm a tradesperson, I'm not a trade. I go in there because of the flow of this going. No, trades will not eat bad food. But most people don't know that. They rely on the signage to know where to go. So when people come from Melbourne, no one goes in there but locals. Why? Because of the signage. The signage says everything about it. The way you've all dressed here today is how people are going to judge you. Is it right or wrong? It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. People just judge. And that's why so many brands spend so much money on their marketing. If something looks appealing to you, then that will attract people to come in. And especially if the sign's appealing to that age demographic you're aiming at, that will be appealing to someone. You ever look at Bunnings, the sign's pretty bland. There's a reason for it. They're a box store. They want to advertise that they're cheap. They don't want all glitzy and shiny lights because that means it's expensive. So what sign you choose can tell a lot to the consumer about what price is selling there. And that's where we come in. That's where we come in and help you work through what it is you need for your business with your budget to attract the customers that you need to attract. And in some cases, we work with companies who just give us a signage and we just produce it and install it. Other times we start from scratch and we don't know where to start. So to give you a bit of an idea of what we do, I'm going to pass around a few things. I know it's a little distracting, but I think it's the only way you're going to understand. I'll sort of show a few things and I'll just pass around and have a little close look. This is what we call a reception sign. So this is the sort of stuff we'll make. This is what we call a backlit illuminated sign. Again, this is another reception sign made of totally different materials. So as you see these signs go around, another illuminated sign, you'll notice that they're all different because they're all for different businesses, all different budgets and different logos. Some of these businesses have terrible logos. I can't help that. We still make the sign for them and promote them. We do big projects, like a big pylon sign like this for Interpack. So you have a look at that sort of stuff we do. We do rebrands for a lot of companies. So Haynes Mate, we do all their rebranding nationally. And we do quite a lot of bone tile stores. Some of you might recognise that one. That was just in Palmarine. Wrapping. Seen Paragraph cards. This is thing we did a promotion last year, apparently with Kardashian, which I had no idea about until after we finished the job. We wrapped the whole store in pink vinyl. And as you can see, all the shelving is all wrapped seamlessly. That lasted for 2 weeks and $25,000 later, so they must have done some definite sales of that. But they found that wrapping all their stores around the world in pink would up their sales and sell a whole lot of clothing, and it worked. Sensational. Crazy amount of money they spent, but it actually works. So again, in offices, we do this frosting. We do lots of different designs for us. So I'm going away here. We even do digital prints on frosting, like you can see there. Now, frosting, what it does is it lets light through. Very important. Okay, so frosting lets light through, but you can make it colourful. So in offices, it's used a lot. It's very bland, but we can colour up and do lots of different things. A lot of companies will put maps of the world on their wall. There's something to make the office better. Or go crazy like this, crazy design of that just makes the office a pleasant place to work in. I've just done these penguins just recently down here in Seven, and this is for kids that go in and do some early learning stuff. And it's just to make the place look a little bit more friendly for kids. There's penguins everywhere. This one's down in Bones in Altona. It's all gold vinyl on the windows. Looks a lot more sensational. So we can do that sort of stuff. Obviously, in Box Hill, they wanted some frosting to sort of obscure people in the meeting rooms. They didn't want to totally block it out, so we come up with a design that gave them something a little bit different. So when you're thinking about people who could use our services, as you can see, they're very varied. Often in big offices, they don't get a message across, so they might put their values up. So this is a wall graphic, and the whole thing's a digital print on a wall. Or like this one here, if you want to just lighten the load in your reception area, something to bring the environment into the office can work well. And that's a digital print from a photo. Directory signs. You need to find your way in Upper Tarwell to the reception when you're staying there. We can cut out lots of little ways to cut letters and pin them on the wall and that sort of stuff. Kingsville down the road, we did all their pylon signs several years ago, for the second time. So we do all that sort of stuff as well. Retail out in Armadale, I think that one was in digital print. We change over regularly for them and whatever addresses it promoting for this season. So we'll do retail. This is one of my favourites, and unfortunately it's not sort of. That is actually a lift. So when you open the lift, it looks like you're walking into an alleyway. It looks amazing. It's at Quincy's in the city, and they've got a rooftop bar. If you want to see it, go on Quincy's. Locally, I don't know if you know down the road here, at the Science Works. There's a mob called Sleep Bus. What Sleep Bus do is they build buses for homeless people with washing machines and beds in them, and they drive the buses out at night. There's a few in Canberra, there's a couple up in Queensland and around Melbourne, and it's all done through donations. So we've been wrapping a lot of their buses and doing it for less than costs. And a lot of other businesses here are doing the same thing to help them build more of these buses to get them out, to help out those that have less fortunate don't have anywhere to sleep. And they go to community groups and the community groups run them. This Sleep Bus here, which we did some grading on, you can have a look at on our laser, they're auctioning that off, which is on at the moment, and hopefully raise about $1 million. And the aim is then they build another, I think, 10 buses to roll out. So that's something else we do. Trucks, we're at the end, no? 3 minutes, 3 seconds, right?
And that, no, I'm kidding.
Trucks, and there's car wraps we do. There's more truck wraps. You want to have a little look at that. Promotional stuff for exhibitions. If you want to have all your sponsors on a banner and behind you like this here, and then take photos in the front. Building sites. And I guess finally, we make lots of safety signage. Huge, really important for those working in factories and all that. So, rather than waffle on about what we do, hopefully those photos visually give you an idea of the sort of stuff we can do. It is so wide and varied. So I hope that helps you understand better than we just talk about what we do and at least see what we've done. All right? That's great.